Welcome, my friends, to 40 Days to PMP Exam Success Situational Questions with your buddy Phil. Let's move into day 2, Lead a Team. The very first question states, as a project manager at PRZ Inc., you're leading a diverse team in developing a new pharmaceutical product. The team includes members from various cultural backgrounds and with different thought processes. What should you do next to foster an inclusive environment and drive the project towards its vision and mission? A. Enforce the spirit of hard work and unity through dedication to processes, tools, and techniques for team success. B. Implement a standard working method for all team members to follow, disregarding individual differences. C. Organize team building activities that promote understanding and appreciation of diversity and inclusion. D. Allow team members to work in silos according to their cultural backgrounds. I'll give you some time to decide on the answer. The pause button if you need more time. Now, using the process of elimination, there are some options that you should not consider. Working in silos, option D, is not a very good option. And as I advise on the exam, you want to use the strikeout functionality to strike out options such as this. C. Organize team building activities that promote understanding and appreciation of diversity and inclusion. Well, there are no red flags there because our main goal, as you can see from the question, is to foster an inclusive environment. So I'll leave C for now and go to B. Implement a standard working method for all team members to follow, disregarding individual differences. Well, this is not in the spirit of diversity and inclusion, using a one-size-fits-all approach. A standard, even though that sounds good, working method is not in the best interest of the team. It says team members from various cultural backgrounds and different thought processes, so we do need to take that into account. Option A, enforce the spirit of hard work. The word enforce is rather harsh in the world of agility and in the world of evolving project management. Hard work and unity is not bad, but saying enforce the spirit of hard work. And then it says through dedication to processes, tools, and techniques. This goes against the grain of our understanding from an agile perspective. Weighing all the options, A is not the best. So, in light of this, our best option for question 1 is C. Team building that promotes understanding and appreciation of diversity and inclusion. Remember, it says, what should you do next to foster an inclusive environment? An inclusive environment does not have to do with the spirit of hard work through processes and tools. Let's go to the answer, and it says, promoting diversity and inclusion through understanding and appreciation helps build a cohesive team aligned with the project's vision and mission. All right, let's move on to our next question here, my friends. Scenario number 2. You're the Scrum Master for a software development project at Agile World Limited. The team is demotivated due to recent project setbacks. How can you inspire, motivate, and influence the team members and stakeholders to regain momentum? A. Promise the team bonuses, paid time off, and company perks if they meet the next sprint goals. B. Provide team members with a chance to unwind and connect on a more personal level. C. Schedule regular team lunches and informal gatherings to encourage discussions about personal interests and leisure activities. D. Share success stories in overcoming similar setbacks and highlight the value of perseverance and adaptability. I'll give you some time to choose the option you think is best. All right, well, let's take a look at the options. Let's start from A this time. As you notice, I go from either D up or A down, and it just helps break up the monotony, especially on the exam. But you have your method that works for you. A. Promise the team bonuses, paid time off, and company perks. This goes against the grain of our understanding of Maslow's pyramid. What truly motivates people, what truly inspires them, is not the things at the bottom of the pyramid or towards the bottom. It's self actualization. So, promising bonuses and time off again violates Herzberg's hygiene factors because these are not the true motivators. The absence of them could demotivate, but they're not the true motivators. So, I would remove A from the equation. Also, on the exam, beware of using the cancellation tool. You have to truly be used to it. Otherwise, it could be a stumbling block and waste your time. B. Provide team members with a chance to unwind and connect on a more personal level. Now, this isn't bad, it's socializing. There's nothing wrong in that. However, does that inspire, motivate, and influence the team to regain momentum? That's not entirely certain. And for that reason, option B is being removed. C. Schedule regular team lunches and informal gatherings to encourage discussions about personal interests and leisure activities. Again, it's not really focusing on the problem at hand. It's not focusing on the setbacks. It's just personal interests and leisure, which is not bad. It's talking about lunch again, hygiene factors. This is not a true inspiration and motivation, though it is not bad. For that reason, C will also be removed. Option D. Share success stories of overcoming similar setbacks and highlight the value of perseverance and adaptability. This best addresses the problem at hand. Everything else is more supportive. There's nothing wrong in any of the other options, but they don't truly meet the inspiration, the motivation, and the influence we're looking for. For that reason, the option D is best. Sharing success stories and highlighting the value of perseverance can inspire and motivate the team, helping them regain momentum and stay committed to project goals. The other options are not as effective, though not bad. And on the exam, you will get options that seem not bad, but they're not the best. Let's move on to question 3. As the project leader at Engineers R Us, you notice a significant variance in the influence and motivation levels among your team members and stakeholders. What approach would you take to lead effectively? A. Apply the same leadership style uniformly across all team members and stakeholders to be fair and impartial. B. Distinguish between different leadership approaches and tailor your style to meet individual and group needs effectively. C. Delegate leadership responsibilities to the most influential team members to begin exposing them to good leadership techniques. D. Focus solely on those with the highest motivation, ignoring less motivated individuals, using the von Hindenburg approach for leadership. I'll give you some time to decide on the right answer. All right, let's take a look at our options. Starting from option D, focus solely on those with the highest motivation, ignoring less motivated individuals using the von Hindenburg approach for leadership. Now, while there's such an approach, this is not the best way to proceed in this day and age, and for that reason, option D will be removed. Remember, it is the job of the servant leader to inspire, to motivate, to encourage, to mentor, and even at times to be a little bit directive. So D is not the best. C. Delegate leadership responsibilities to the most influential team members to begin exposing them to good leadership techniques. Now, while delegating isn't bad, it said you notice a significant variance in the influence and motivation levels among your team. So, to lead effectively, you need to remember those who are not right there at this point in terms of influence and motivation. But you cannot delegate to the most influential and forget those who are not as motivated and as influential. For that reason, we're going to take C out because it's not as inclusive. That leaves us with A and B. Option B, distinguish between different leadership approaches and tailor your style to meet individual and group needs effectively. That's not a bad approach. It's in the spirit of the PMI and the mindset for the exam. Option A, apply the same leadership style uniformly across all team members and stakeholders to be fair and impartial. Actually, using the same style is not what the PMI espouses in the PMP exam content outline. In the PMP exam content outline, we're exposed to the understanding of situational leadership, and also in the current version of the PMBOK guide, the Hersey Blanchard model is highly espoused in today's day and age, and that's why the best option is B. Distinguish between different leadership approaches. Tailoring your leadership style to include people of diverse backgrounds to individual and group needs, tailoring it can maximize influence and motivation, promoting a more effective and cohesive team dynamic. All right. The trick question on many interviews is, what is your leadership style? You shouldn't have just one leadership style. You should be able to tailor your leadership style. All right, let's move on to our next question. In a project at Department of Projects, you're leading a team through a critical phase of an engineering project. You observe that while some team members excel under directive leadership, others thrive when given autonomy. How should you proceed to ensure effective leadership across the team? A. With knowledge of the Blanchard model, adopt a strictly delegating leadership style to maintain less control over the project. B. Choose a hands off approach, giving complete autonomy to all team members to encourage higher levels of engagement. C. Identify individual and group dynamics to apply a mix of directive and collaborative leadership styles as appropriate. D. Require all team members to adapt to your preferred leadership style in order to maintain peace and harmony. I'll give you some time to think about this. All right, well, hit the pause button if you need more time to rationalize. A, or let's start from D this time. Require all team members to adapt to your preferred leadership style in order to maintain peace and harmony. Well, that sounds rather draconian, doesn't it? It is not the best option to force people to adapt to the leader's leadership style. The leader needs to meet the people where they are. Option C, identify individual and group dynamics to apply a mix of directive and collaborative leadership styles as appropriate. Now, while that doesn't sound entirely right, it doesn't sound bad because you have directive and you have supportive, and the word collaborative could be replaced with supportive in some way because you're jumping in there. It's like participating. So I won't eliminate C just yet. Let's look at B. Choose a hands off approach, giving complete autonomy to all team members to encourage higher levels of engagement. Well, that's concerning, giving complete autonomy to all team members. That means allowing everyone to be in the delegating quadrant. That's not very situational. So, that's not a favorite choice, and I will get rid of B and look at A. With knowledge of the Blanchard model, adopt a strictly delegating leadership style to maintain less control over the project. So let's get down to the bottom of the problem. Why would you want less control? Because it says, you observe while some team members excel under directive leadership, others thrive when given autonomy. So why would you give everyone autonomy when you know some don't roll well like that? Therefore, option A doesn't make sense. To just delegate to everyone, even those who don't do well, with a delegating approach. And therefore, the best answer is C. Recognizing and adapting to the varying needs of team members by mixing leadership styles can enhance team performance and project success. I just want to comment very quickly on the PMP exam because I know some folks may look at these questions and say, well, those questions, they don't seem as hard. They're not difficult. Let me explain what makes the PMP exam difficult. What makes it difficult is the multiplicity of words that you have to read in 1 minute and 15 seconds. So take a look at all the questions for today. These questions are not easy to read in 1 minute 15 seconds and to be absolutely certain you've chosen the answer in 1 minute 15 seconds easily. You have to always be on the edge, on the cutting edge, applying yourself to go according to the clock. So if you're looking at these questions and thinking, well, they're not that bad, it's because you have a lot of time to think. For example, right now we've spent roughly 19 minutes going through these questions. But on the exam, you would only have a fraction of that time. You'd only have a quarter of that time. So it's very important that as we go through these questions, you bear in mind that you are required to read these average of 1 minute 15 seconds, 75 seconds. That is what makes the exam hard because a lot of people get to the end of the exam and they have 40 questions left, 50 questions unanswered. Okay, so as we go through these, put on that hat of the time factor. You need to get very good and very quick going through the questions and understanding how to navigate them and trade your time. All right. Well, thank you so very much for joining me. Again, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share with your friends for those who have friends getting ready for the exam. And in our next episode, we'll move to task 3, which is on support team performance. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.